Now, I also want to present a few people, bring them closer here in front, because they are, let's say, symbols for what we are doing. And I want to start with Evelina. Evelina Necula from Kinderpedia. She's my first love, because I'm also an investor in Kinderpedia, a very small one, but a very proud one. She built a great educational platform for institutions, for school, kindergartens, and so forth. And she's been raising money from business angels, VC, also Seedblink, where I participated. So welcome. I think many of you know that, or know you for your awards and your activity and how the company grew. And because today the theme is courage and brave hearts. For sure, Evelina is a anxious brave heart, which means it's a very balanced way of dealing with courage. We've talked before and we prepared a bit of a dialogue. So first question would be, what score do you give yourself on the courage scale?
Wow, so straightforward. When it comes to courage, if we say that 0 would be being afraid of a mouse and 10 would be being completely fearless, I would say I'm somewhere between 6 and 8. And the difference between the two comes from how prepared I feel in front of the challenge. And I make it my business to be prepared.
Like, you know, when you go to exam in school, right? You get prepared first. Regarding courage, do you have some sort of energy builders or courage pills that you take whenever you have a challenge in front of you?
It depends on the challenge, but most of the times preparation is the best pill. And depending on the size of the challenge and the complexity, I allocate a directly proportionate amount of effort to prepare it. So let's say the more complex the task is, the more we try to research it, because it's almost always a team effort. The more we research it, so that we diminish a bit the risk. So it's not one of those intrepid throws into risk, but more tackling risks and opportunities and weighting them so that we get the right ratio.
Okay, so you don't improvise much like I do.
I have partners, and they're more spontaneous than I am. I am the one who's calculating, looking at scenarios, discussing probabilities. They're the ones who are more prone to throw themselves in front of risk. But then I push the brake and I say, okay, guys, let's calculate a bit. Let's look at what we do now and what are the implications.
Okay, tell us a bit about the investment journey a bit. I know we talked about your business angels and the VC and the relationship with them. And one thing that I hear from young entrepreneurs, from female founders, is this a bit of a fear from the pressure that a business angel can put, or an investor. And I'm curious if you think there is a right pressure that the investor must come with in meetings, or when you report your numbers. What do you think would be a good way of pressure?
I think it depends a lot on the maturity of the company. Because if we look at the early days, then the relationship with angel investors, from our point of view, especially being a social entrepreneurship, should be more explorative, should be about nurturing ideas, either modeling concepts or trying to explore and open new markets, not necessarily about pushing for immediate results. And we've been lucky enough to have the sort of angel investors. Our initial angel investors are three executives, former executives from Submiller, from Switzerland. But they were somehow connected to Romania. They understood education, and what they did in the early days, when results were not as visible and as intuitive and straightforward as today, was helping us get to those results, putting us in contact with education institutions, leading us towards the people who can give us feedback, who can help us model the product in a way which would further lead to traction.
It made me think, what kind of investor am I? But I'm going to have to ask my entrepreneurs or the startups that I invested in. Maybe they need more pressure from me. I'll ask them later. Because you mentioned balance. So balance is very personal and very subjective. So we need to make sure we check with our startups what kind of pressure is best for them. Thank you for your answer. I'm very curious as a last question, because I want to stay on the courage, let's say, topic. If you look in the future and you think about your own journey going forward, because Kinderpedia has evolved, it's big. Is it 250,000 users on the platform, right?
More. If we count teachers, students, and parents, it's above that. But around that.
Okay, so 300,000 users
Almost.
of the platform, which is a huge responsibility. If it was to ask you, okay, you're going to develop further, you have a plan, what would require a lot of courage for you to do now, going forward? What is it, that thing that scares you the most? You know you have to do it, and you're like, oh, no, but I need to do it, but it's going to be tough, and I need to have courage for that. What would that be?
At a business level, it's internationalization and choosing those specific markets, betting on some markets. As we understand, we cannot grow them all at the same time. And at a personal level, actually moving to one of those markets, displacing the entire life, family. That is something I look at with at least with a bit nervous feeling.
Just pick a sunny place. Okay. I might come and visit. Okay. Thank you very much, Evelina, for your presence.
So
thank you for coming tonight, and good luck with the Kinderpedia. And thank you for being a role model for all the young entrepreneurs here. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of questions from the audience later during the event.
I have to confess that I am equally honored and humbled by the invitation of representing female entrepreneurs. I appreciate it, and I'm equally proud that you are part of the Kinderpedia investor community. And I'm also proud that we, just like you, we have many other strong, inspiring women in the community who chose to invest in Kinderpedia. And I accepted to be here for these women and for the women who may take a step forward, knowing that you don't have to be insane to open a business or
crazy,
to put a
they
bet
say,
on your ideas, especially if your ideas transform the way the world in a meaningful way.